What's up, mob? How are we doing? We're gonna wrap up Bud's Creek today. Bud's Creek was gnarly, man. Sexton and Tomac going next level. Like this is like two heavyweights they're throwing haymakers at each other to see what lands and who's still standing. And man, they both landed some punches and they're both still standing. Anderson, God, it was such a crazy day. I didn't even realize that he won the race. It's like I was thinking about it and I forgot that he actually even won with the 2-2. But good on Anderson. I mean, he's been busting his ass, riding really good outdoors and quietly the third best guy. But he got the overall today. RJ Hampshire. On the prediction show, I forget who it was. I apologize. Somebody told me RJ is going to shock the world. And I said, absolutely nothing RJ will ever do will shock the world. RJ is RJ, and this is what he does. He can come out and win on any given day, or he can lay an egg, or he can crash. We don't know. That's the great thing about RJ. He's one of those guys that's just fun to have around. Joe Schmoda is consistently becoming one of the best guys in the class. I think he's surpassed Hunter in the pound for pound rankings or the power rankings, whatever you want to call it. And he also passed him in the points. So yeah, Joe, I would say he's the second best guy in the series right now. And Justin Cooper, he should feel really fortunate that they did the Des Nations team before this race. He definitely got tired in that second moto. And if you guys want to get in better shape, hit up Coach Rob at CompleteRacingSolutions.com. That's CompleteRacingSolutions.com. Coach has programs for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a weekend warrior, if you're racing, if you just want to lose some weight, your kids race, you don't worry about their fitness, you're worried about your fitness, walking around the track and you just want to look better. Coach, like his biggest clientele aren't necessarily racers. He does weight loss, he does general health, you name it. Coach has got a program for you. Check it out. And then if you do decide to do one of his programs, just check Cooksey in the checkout. He'll get you dialed in. So, all right, guys, without further ado, let's get into this. I'm going to break down the 450s.
I'm in the empire business.
Everybody love everybody!
You all know exactly who I am.
All right, guys, so Jason Anderson, El Hombre, or as James Stewart likes to call him El Hombre. It's Hombre, El Hombre, not Hombre. I love James, though. He was good. He was very good on the mic yesterday. He got a little sideways, but I mean, it's his first time. You got to cut him some slack. I love that he went with it. I love that James Stewart brought personality to the broadcast. I don't think him and Weege meshed real well together. I don't think Weege understood a lot of his stuff that he was saying. But I mean, he had me ever since in practice when he went, Shimoda! Like, that was awesome. So anyway, Sexton and Tomac, these two guys are literally the story. I can almost forget every other story, even though there are some. These two guys are putting on a show for the ages. Oh, and by the way, guys, I actually heard a rumor that Sexton was signing with KTM or using it to drive up Honda. Apparently, that's done. And Honda's furious. So he has signed with KTM for 2024, Chase Sexton, and Honda's pissed. I don't even think they even, I don't know how it's going to go. It's interesting. So that sounds like it's a done deal. Sexton, literally, what was he doing in that first moto? He was surprised. He got out in front of Tomac. Tomac runs the paddle tire just for starts, or I just think he feels comfortable on that tire. Gets past Sexton and really kind of rattled Sexton on that first lap. And just about 2 hours earlier on the prediction show, I had said Chase has learned how to keep it upright. That didn't age well. That did not age well, guys. He literally ate shit right there, just endoed. Boom. Tucked the front end in that, kind of stuffed the front. And as he lost it, it caught in the rut and just front flipped him. He got very, very, very fortunate that nobody else ran over his bike and ruined it or hit him when he was down. That was a really high speed section. It could have gone really badly. I mean, if you look, he just stands up and those guys just miss him by just a couple millimeters. It was close. It could have been very bad. So he gets up, back of the pack, charging through, and one of the slower guys crashes. And these deep ruts, you got nowhere to go. He tries to go over the bike, catches it, front flip again. Wow. Still charges to get 7th place. Very, very good on his part to manage that and end up with a 7th rather than a DNF. It easily could have been, when he ran over the guy's bike, it could have ripped off a pipe, radiator hose. He's very fortunate. As bad as it went pretty well. And then in the second moto, he did exactly what he needed to do. He got out there, he's leading the race, and he dumps it again. He has to pass the guys again. Boy, he just does not like to make it easy on himself. These mistakes that I thought he had fixed came back roaring this weekend. I mean, it was not good for him as far as the mistakes category goes. But he still won the second moto, and Eli did what Eli has done in the past few years. This guy is his own personal chase format. He keeps point races close. Literally, he did this in Supercross for years. He did this outdoors with Marvin. You want to keep it exciting? Have Tomac in the series. We are going to miss him when he retires. He could have put a regular tire on, probably went out, won the second moto. He wins the second moto. We're looking at like a 13-point difference, and it's starting to get out of control. But instead, he leaves the paddle tire on. Says he feels comfortable with it. The track gets really hard, and he just can't drive forward, and he ends up getting fifth in the moto. Fifth in the moto is not good for Tomac. Ends up 1 point difference between Sexton and Tomac at the end of the day after that horrible first moto that easily could have ended Chase's championship run. But yeah, now on to Ironman. Ironman is going to be a fun one. Gosh, and then I feel like Tomac has to get a 1-1 at Ironman, because if he doesn't get a 1-1 at Ironman, he's talking about a one moto difference, because I think Chase can beat him straight up at Paula. So yeah, it's exciting, guys. Hang on to this one. This is Tomac's last outdoor season. Man, just cherish it. This is a historical race, and man, it's just awesome. So let's see. Roxon's fighting for a contract. I think Honda right now is spinning after the Sexton news of what he may have done and who he may have signed with KTM. So they're like, what the hell? Do we keep Roxon? We got Jet coming. We got Hunter. What do we do? Their head's kind of spinning. So I think Roxon riding good makes it a lot easier for them to sign him to a pretty hefty deal for Supercross season, because Roxon doesn't come cheap. The leverage he's using against them is he's going to go ride for the Butler brothers' other half, the guy that they split, not the Butler brothers, the other guy who Rocky Mountain is in good terms with. They're talking about starting a Rocky Mountain KTM team, not the Butler brothers, completely separate, and having Roxon ride that bike. So we'll see. He might just be using that for leverage. I think he'd prefer to stay at Honda. It's a lot easier. He's already familiar with everybody over there. I think he's finally getting that bike to where he likes it. And guess what? With Sexton doing what he did, he's back to being the most popular guy on the team. Dungey, poor Dungey. Dungey goes 4-4 for 5th overall. He is riding his ass off. It is so awesome to see a guy after 5 years come back and just be fighting and clawing and just wanting that podium like he is. He's so close, guys, so close. But he's just, 4-4 for 5th overall. What do you do? But if you put yourself up there consistently, I said he wouldn't get it this year. I think he might. I wouldn't be shocked, especially at the last round at Paula. Weird things happen. And Dungey's got a goal, and Dungey's not a guy that ever lays up on a goal. He's never a guy that you have to worry about mailing it in. He's going to give you every single inch of the track. He's going to ride his hardest all the way to the end of Paula in that second moto. That's just what Dungey does. All right, guys, and now to the Barsha versus Dylan Ferrandis drama. So MX Sports has done it again. These rednecks, it's embarrassing that this is considered the series at the highest level, between the TV package, the shit show at Loretta Lynn's, how do you just disqualify a guy? There's no footage. You don't show the team the footage. There are some still shots. Maybe it deserves a disqualification, but the GoPro still has the footage. They haven't released it. The team's trying to get it. They're hoping to have it soon, within a day or so. I'm sure we'll all see it. By the time you probably watch this video, the GoPro footage is probably out. What they were told is Barsha was knocked off the track by Dylan, come back on the track, and then in the next berm, blasted Dylan. Okay? Yeah, that's pretty bad. But the retaliation always gets more. Barsha is guilty by reputation. Without seeing it, I guess an official saw it, but one person's determination, you just disqualify a guy? I don't understand that. Yes, he's on probation, but he's on probation with AMA not AMA Pro Racing, two completely separate organizations. Next year, they're under the same AMA banner, but this year they're not. They are separate organizations. So a probation from the AMA does not carry over to AMA Pro Racing unless they choose to identify it that way, which nobody really knows if they're going to or not. That's a Coombs, Davey Coombs, Jeff Canfield, or whoever's handling it. That's made up on the spot. There's no black and white whether it goes or it doesn't go. So to disqualify a guy without showing the team footage or proof of exactly what happened and not waiting for the GoPro footage to become available, because the GoPro has that, they're trying to get it, the team's trying to get the footage, and they're going to see what happened and if it's worthy of a disqualification. Has Barsha been a guy known for this in the past? Absolutely. Is he probably guilty? Yeah, probably. But to go ahead and disqualify a guy on reputation, I don't know if I agree with that. I think this is MX Sports flexing their muscle and doing things half-assed like they always do. So anyway, I just think it's ridiculous. I think you have to go through this through the proper channels. I don't know that I trust one official's opinion of what happened in an incident like that, where a guy retaliating. I'm going to need to see a little bit more about where he went off the track, where he came on the track. I'm not saying it's not worthy of a disqualification. I'm just saying, don't we at least wait until we got the GoPro footage? Don't we wait until we have a little bit more evidence and then disqualify him? With that said, let's say he's guilty. Let's say he was off track, jumped back onto the track, and as he jumped onto the track after cutting the track, smashes Dylan Ferrandis. Well, yeah, I would say probably disqualify him and probably suspend him for the rest of the season. But you need to have proper information. Don't go acting on impulse. Like, this is not an impulsive decision. This is a guy's career. This is a lot of money with a huge team in Gas, the TLD team. You can't just convict a guy on reputation. And guess what? The reputation, he's been clean this whole outdoor series. He hasn't done anything outdoors. And I have a different feeling towards these takeout moves outdoors than I do indoors. The speeds are much higher. I'm not for rough riding in outdoor nationals. You're going upwards of almost road race speeds these days. These guys are going so fast, it gets so dangerous. Chopping guys and doing some of the things you can get away with in Supercross become really, really dangerous outdoors. So I don't like them. I don't like what Barsha did. I don't like what Ferrandis probably did. It happens. It is racing. But to litigate it and not give proof to the team, it's kind of bullshit in my opinion. I think you need to show Tyler Keefe, who's one of the best team managers in the business, show him what happened, tell him why, tell Barsha why, and I don't know, I just don't know that on your first offense that you get a disqualification. If he did cut the track and came in, yeah, I'm okay with the disqualification, similar to like what happened to Bogle when he slowed down and took out Barsha at San Diego. If it was an incident like that, go for it, but at least wait until it completely comes in, all the information comes in before you just do it, and you got to have a better explanation to the team, guys. So anyway, that's it on the Barsha Ferrandis. It's going to change as soon as we see the GoPro footage. We're going to know for sure what happened. We're going to know who cut the track or if he cut the track. Ferrandis obviously wasn't happy. He got taken out, but we don't know what he did to Barsha ahead of time. Was that dirty? Was that bad? We don't know both sides of it. So before you go convicting Barsha and calling for him to be banned, how about we just wait for some footage? So that's where I stand on the Barsha situation. In the 250s, you gotta love RJ Hampshire. RJ Hampshire is a complete badass. You never know what you're gonna get out of him. He's just fun. On any given day, he could challenge anyone that rides a 250 for a win. And on any given day, he could pile it up 3 times and still challenge for the win. Or he could DNF, or he could go 1 DNF. You never know what you're going to get. I would say he would be, if he were a Batman character, he'd be the Riddler. You never know. You don't know what you're going to get. Riddler, Joker, one of those guys. You never know what personality is going to show up. Joe Shimoda. Joe Shimoda is establishing himself as a superstar in the sport. He is consistently up there in the top 3. In my opinion, he has passed up Hunter as, like if we're going to do pound for pound or power rankings, he has passed Hunter Lawrence, and he's now the number 2 250 guy behind Jet Lawrence, and he's real close to Jet, guys. Like he's really putting it all together. He's smooth, he's consistent, he has endurance. He has everything right now. And if he can just keep building off of this, he's going to be a superstar if he's not already. Jet, he's struggled the last 2 weeks. This sometimes happens when a guy gets a big point lead, you start going into management mode, and you start thinking about things, and it just happens where a guy like Shimoda is just racing, and he's just racing hard, and there's not a big, he doesn't, if he throws it away, and he throws away third in points, nobody wants to throw away third or second in points, but to throw away a championship is huge. So that's weighing on Jet Lawrence. That championship, that weight of becoming champion or people expecting you to become champion, it's heavy. Jet's feeling it right now. He's riding really smart. He's doing really good things, but he clearly had a problem with Michael Mosiman. Michael Mosiman was riding his ass off. He's back from his concussion, and he was pushing him, and he was doing some stuff. He's changing lines. These guys have got to hit a bit of a history. Michael Mosiman and Lawrence brothers in general, I don't know that they necessarily get along. There's no love lost for sure. He was pushing his ass off to stay in front of Jet, and when he switched lines in front of him, I was fine with it. But yeah, then he made a mistake and wrecked, and as Jet went by, Jet's like, really, bro, you're gonna hold me up? And I understand Jet's frustration, but I also understand Michael Mosiman has every right to fight for his position. He wrecks, no big deal, get back up. And yeah, like I said, I see both guys on that. That's just a fun racing incident that we all get to watch. Hunter, oh boy, wheels are coming off for Hunter this year. But let's put this in perspective. A couple of years ago, 2 years ago at Loretta's, remember the COVID year? Dislocates his shoulder. His career was just off the rails. It really looked like it might be it for Hunter Lawrence. And he even said, he's like, I don't know if I can even come back from this. So as bad as it is this year, I promise you, to put it in perspective, if he goes back 2 years and takes a look at where he is now and where he was when he was almost done with his career, wow. Yeah, it's not that bad of a season. Now you ask him this week how he feels about it, he's furious. Because that's what champions do, and that's what people who want to become champion do. They fight, they try, they don't ever give up, they never settle. So in hindsight, is it that big of a deal? Nah, he'll get it together. And next year he's going to be probably the favorite to win that outdoor title with his brother moving up. So Hunter, your time will come. Just hang in there. Justin Cooper, oh boy. I was kind of pushing, like I say, to me it was kind of a coin flip between Justin Cooper and Christian Craig to see who goes on the Des Nations team this year. Yeah, I would have probably gone with Justin because of the last two moto wins and the fact that he's going to be with Star next year. He's already on a 250. It's just an easier program, and it's easier to justify because he is a current 250 rider. That being said, after yesterday, I would probably take RJ Hampshire. I was really disappointed in Justin Cooper's ride. It was very lackadaisical. In that second moto, he got out front, and then just the heat got to him. He faded. I don't know what's going on with Justin. He's hot and cold, but the Des Nations is really, really important to a lot of Americans. And all I ask of my riders is I want someone who really wants to be there. Don't go there and play it safe. If you're going to go there and play it safe and try and get through the off season, just bow out. Let someone who's willing to go ride the bike to their fullest ability. I don't care if they win. I want them to win. That's everything, and I want them to win because I'm American and I'm proud. But there's some really good teams. The Australian team with both Lawrence brothers and Mitchell Evans, they're going to be tough. And then you look at the France team, oh man, they're fast. To say that United States is the favorite, I don't think so. I don't think we're the favorite, and that's hard for me to admit, but it's the truth. But what I want from our guys is I want Sexton, and I want Tomac, and I want Justin Cooper to show up and ride with the same effort and heart that they rode with yesterday at Budds Creek. If they can do that, I don't care where they finish. As an American, hey, thank you for representing the country. Now, if they go there and lay an egg and just ride around in 7th place and they're not giving, because you can tell the difference between a 97% effort and 100% effort. I just want 100. That's all I want. Give me 100% effort. Try your hardest. Aaron Plessinger went there a couple years ago, didn't have good results, but he gave it his all. I was okay with the performance. He tried hard. He crashed. He had a big one. I'm okay with guys that do that. What I'm not okay with is like Ryan Dungey would go over there, and I love Dungey, but he sucked at the Des Nations, and he always played it safe. He went there to get through the event, not necessarily to win the event. And that was, to me, that was disappointing. That was insulting. And I just don't want a guy. I would rather a guy sit out than go give me 95%. I want whoever's going to give me 100% effort. So anyway, guys, that's it for your Budds Creek wrap up. Remember, if you need anything for your ATV or your UTV, hit up revolutionoffroad.com. That's revolutionor.com. And if you want to make your garage look insanely badass, and yeah, epicgaragedesigns.com. That's epicgaragedesigns.com. Travis and Jessica will get you dialed in. So anyway, guys, thank you. Don't forget, subscribe, and I will see you later.